Last week we talked about sexual orientation. Today we're going to talk about romantic orientation. Okay? Romance, love. Okay? All right. So, what is romantic orientation? Romantic orientation is how you express, the type, the nature of how you express your romantic attraction to your partner. Okay? So what is romantic attraction? Romantic attraction is that emotional, that feeling, that affection that you express to your partner, not only that feeling and that emotion, but actually how you show your partner how you feel. So it's not only a feeling, but it's a behavior. Courtship, right? So when they're courting you back in the day, when they used to court us, that is part of your type or your way of showing romance to your partner. Okay, so you and me, everyone has their own way of showing romance to their partner. Okay, so you're going to look at your partner, you're going to look at yourself, and you're going to figure out where you belong. Yes, is it important? Very important. It's different from sexual orientation because sexual orientation is the sexual attraction. Romantic orientation is the romance, right? So you can have a completely beautiful sexual experience and not be romantic. Or you can be very romantic and not very sexual, okay? So go back and listen to what I talked about with the sexual orientation. And then we're going to talk about the romantic. But remember, you don't have to match, okay? All right, let's go for it. So, like with sexual orientation, you have the range, the spectrum of romance. You can go from one end to the other. So here we go. We're going to do the same thing as we did with sexual orientation. We're going to go from this end. Okay? The extreme end here is a romantic orientation or attraction. So that's the attraction that you have very little romantic feelings, romantic emotions. You don't really have much going for you. So you're aromantic. It's like you don't really feel this romance that everyone talks about. Okay? So those people that don't feel it, or very rarely, seldom, probably hardly ever have felt that passionate, that strong emotional feeling, right? That involves the whole mind and the whole body and the whole soul. That is romance, okay? So if you've never experienced it, you are a romantic. And I actually have some friends that have never experienced love. And then one day, later on in life, she did experience it. And when she experienced it, she fell head over heels, but only one time in her life. Okay, so you've got to understand some people never really experience that romantic, emotional, passionate affection for other people. Then don't forget, it is followed by the courtship. What is the person doing that will make you feel that you're loved or that you're being um, romanticized, that you're actually enjoying it? So, how you show it and how they show it to you is important. Not only the feelings that they have or the feelings that you have, it's how you demonstrate it to them. Okay? So, aromantic is you don't really just feel it and you don't really show it and you don't really express it. Okay? Gray romantic is, yeah, you get it once in a blue moon, or when you get it, it's very weak. It's like, yeah, I feel I'm in love with you, but it's like it's not a big deal, right? You just feel, yeah, that I am so, you know, cool. Yeah, love me, I love you too. It's more like words, right? So you can be gray romantic, right? And have very passionate sexual feelings, right? Which we called allosexual, remember? And then you can be aromantic and have very powerful sexual feelings. And you can be aromantic and have no sexual feelings. And you can be gray romantic and have no sexual feelings. So there's a mix that you can have. So you got to understand what you are. Why? Because you identify and you can actually feel that difference and feel complete and say, oh my gosh, now I know what I am. I don't feel so bad. I'm not confused. Because when you know what you are, you feel better, you communicate better, and you feel within authentic, real, and probably you're going to have a better realization of who you are and have a better chance of having great sex, if that's what you want, in the bedroom when you realize who you are and what you want, okay? So just like in the sexual orientation, the demi-romantic rarely has a romantic connection. Remember, feeling that passionate woof over the top love, unless they have that bond. Same thing as in the sexual orientation with the demisexual, right? Go back to that talk. So the demi-romantic has to have a strong emotional bond before they fall in love. So if they don't have that bond, they're not falling in love. So you will know when you are falling in love because you know the person, or there's something that connects you to that person, something very strong that makes you feel, oh my gosh, I love this person. And you can even say why, because there's something that happened that made you feel close, connected to that person. And then you start to fall in love. So is that you? You're not really falling in love unless there's something that connects the two of you. That is demi-romantic. Okay? So just like with the other sexual orientations, these types are more laid back compared to the romantic individual, right? The romantic individual will just go over the top and do things and show you, and sometimes can be a little bit too much for you, depending on who and what they're doing in addition to feeling. So you got to be careful because it can go over the top. Um, you know, some people years and years ago defined and felt love, emotion was psychiatric, right? That means people were crazy. They were actually told they were crazy when they said they were in love or if they had this passionate feelings. They were actually evaluated for psychological issues. So you got to be careful. There's that balance, you know, healthy romantic love and then over the top romantic love where the mental state changes and becomes too intense for you and the actions become too intense for you and then they're stalking you and then, right? So that's too much. So we're not going there right now. We're just talking about the right side, my right side of this spectrum where you can go from a romantic to gray romantic to demi-romantic to romantic, which is where we really want to be romantic in the median, right? I don't say normal, in the middle. Now, if you are one of the others, it's okay because remember, you've got to look at the whole picture. There's just not the romantic part, there's the sexual part, and there's the gender part, right? So we'll talk about that next time too. Okay? So just identify which one you are. Now, it can be more complicated, but have an idea, and then you'll feel that you're more genuine to yourself and to your partner. And find out from your partner, of course, what they are too. All right. There are some other categories of romantic orientation. So listen to this. Heteroromantic. Heteroromantic is being romantically attracted to the opposite sex only. Okay? You can't really be attracted to the same sex or many people or many sexes or many genders, I should say genders. So your gender is the opposite. Okay? So you and one opposite is called heteroromantic. Okay? Then there's homoromantic, where you are attracted romantically to the same gender. Okay? So that person knows, oh my gosh, I feel great with this person. I have this passionate emotion, but can have sex with other people, not just the same sex, but maybe more than one type of people or more than one type of gender. It all depends. And remember, there could be demisexual, there could be gray sexual, there could be semi-sexual. Remember, all those little twists can make someone different, which is why you got to understand who you are. So the homo romantic likes and loves and falls in love and does the demonstration and does all the showing of love to the same sex or the same gender. Got to be careful. Same gender. Biromantic, you can fall in love and show love to two types of genders. All right? Could be the same gender, it could be the different gender, but generally two genders. Could it be more? Yeah. But it's generally two genders that you fall for. It's like, oh my gosh, I like that gender and I like that gender. I love that gender and I love that gender too, right? So it's not exclusive to one. You've got two. Panromantic, you are romantically attracted to many genders, okay? All genders. You can fall in love with every single gender. Boom, 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 boom. Anyone is for you, which means you've experienced that, right? And you've shown that and you've acted upon it and you've expressed it to more than one gender. And you feel, oh my gosh, why do I love so many people? You just love the whole world. Why can't we all just love one another? That's your approach, right? And you fall in love passionately and deeply and strongly with many genders. And remember, that is the romantic orientation. There still is the sexual orientation. So we got to figure that out too. Polyromantic, you fall in love with many genders, but not all the genders, just many genders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but not all. And you're in that relationship with them. It's just like polyamorous, right? You're in that relationship with them. So that is some orientations you want to be familiar with in terms of identifying where you are. There are two more I want to mention. Bromance. Okay? Bromance is a very close non-sexual relationship between two or more men. I want to mention that. And womance is the same thing, but for the woman, very close non-sexual relationship between two or more women. Okay? So the reason why I bring that up is it's very important to be aware that you can have a very close, non-sexual, non-romantic, but some sort of emotional bond with the same sex and be not sexually attractive, just be very close to your friend or your partner. And when I say partner, let's say friend, because the partner is more of a sexual partner. Friend is more of someone that you don't have sex with. So you can have very close woman to woman, men to men relationships. And those are called homosocial. Okay? And that's male bonding to men and female bonding with women. Okay? So there's a very serious emotional intimacy there. There's something that gets you guys happy and keeps you guys happy and you guys just have so much in common that you really are tied. Best friends, right? So it's okay to have that feeling. And women, we need to understand that guys have that feeling too. All right? Not just us. We don't just exclusively have that. We have to have that openness for men to have it also. Okay? And who comes to my mind? Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. Those are the two as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not diagnosing this at all. I'm not labeling them. I'm saying those are the ones I think of when I think of bromance, right? Now I know things are different, but back then it was so cool to watch. Some other examples are, I don't know if you know Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. These are back in the days. I'm dating myself. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Those are some more examples. And they say Bruce Springsteen and Clarence Clemens. Not sure if I know him, but they say that they were very close too. For women, we've got Tina Fey and Amy Poehler in Baby Mama. They were very close. Laverne and Shirley, we know Laverne and Shirley. All right, romance. And then we have Meg Ryan in The Woman. Meg Ryan, Jada Pinkett, Eva Mendes, and a whole bunch of women that were together and showed that bond in terms of being emotionally strong and tied to each other. And they acted upon it. They went out on trips and stuff like that. So I want to point out to you that romance is not just a feeling, it's an action. right? So if you're in a relationship and you're not getting what you want in terms of romance, you have to understand where the person's coming from. That person may not be able to change their ways of showing love, okay? And it's important for you to accept it. You can, communicate and say, hey, I need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. But I think the best thing would be to understand the way they show romance. Might not be the way you show romance, but you can meet halfway, reach a happy medium so that both of you will be able to have, again, for me, great sexual experiences in terms of communication and in terms of having the best time in the bedroom. Because that's the key. If you have different romantic approaches and you're frustrated, you're not going to be happy in the bedroom. But if you have different approaches and you openly talk about it, like I just did with each other, and understand, hey, you're not doing it on purpose, just like with sexual orientation, you got to have that open conversation and see whether you are different so that you can bridge the gap, communicate, and have the best relationship both in and out of the bedroom. Okay, guys? All right. Wanted to talk to you about that. Talk to you tomorrow about gender orientation. Okay? See ya.